Hey guys, welcome to Basic Brunches, where it's basically a group of friends hanging out with a drink, and then we're talking about some stuff that can be current, pastime, or just, you know what, we're just fans of. So, I am Stephanie, and my drink is coffee with rum, because you can't do a day without rum or coffee, so why not just combine them? And my fandoms are Doctor Who, Disney, food.
Hey, I am Sammy. Three things I'm a fan of are Miyazaki films, cosplay, and binge playing video games for 2 weeks and then not touching them for 4 months. I'm drinking water because it's important to stay hydrated, my friends.
Hi, my name is Ren. I also like Miyazaki films. I really like Nintendo's Kirby and Pikachu. And what I'm drinking right now is a combo of Sprite and a little bit of vodka.
So, hi, my name is Whitney, and my main fandoms are going to be Disney, Star Wars, and then DC Marvel. I'm drinking Think Mimosa, but mixed in with some blue curacao.
Well, let's get down with the dirty deets. What is your go-to board game?
I love Catan a lot, and I love like the different expansions. My personal favorite is the Ancient Egypt one because I have this obsession with Ancient Egypt. So I'm like, oh, cool, like mixing that in with that. It's a lot of fun. But I also love like Trivial Pursuit, Disney Scene It. Basically like themed versions of board games is my go-to.
I also really love Catan. So that one
Yes.
and Life.
Yeah.
My number one pick is Boss Monsters. This is the expansion,
Ooh.
Rise of the Mini Bosses. My second favorite is Betrayal at the House on the Hill. My third game is Space Base. My last one, which in my opinion, hardcore gamers will like, is Ascension.
I like Life, especially the ones that are a little more realistic. Oh, look at all this debt I have. Yay.
Right.
Another game that I really like is Sorry, because we all know you're not sorry. And then third, Jumanji. It's a classic. So,
I didn't
yeah.
know it was an actual board game. Well, then that just reaffirms my belief that this year has been somebody abandoning their Jumanji game.
I'm
yeah.
convinced. I'm convinced.
I'm like,
I know
just
where mine
finish
is.
it, please.
Who are some of your comic book crushes? My personals are Dick Grayson, Alucard from Hellsing, but I'm forever committed to Poison Ivy.
I blame Rumiko Takahashi and Yu Yu Hakusho for all my silver-haired, fox-eared boys, like Shishomaru and like Kurama, whenever he turned into Yoko Kurama. And I'm like, okay. So like, those are cute. That's adorable. But
Very
also
nice.
would have to sing Alucard. And then Balalaika from Black Lagoon.
All right, so not to copy, but my first and foremost is Poison Ivy. She's
Right.
not a villain, and I will fight anyone on that. I also love Magneto. Magneto's a big crush. And then I have Gwendolyn from Saga. And then I have Colonel Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. And for that matter, Risa Hawkeye. I just want to be in a Mustang Risa Hawkeye sandwich, so.
I just realized all my comic book crushes are women. Zatanna, Wonder Woman, obviously, and Harley are my girls. Like I'm so in love with them.
I'm just itching. What do you guys think of The Boys, and what are you kind of feeling about season 2?
I've actually never watched the show, so I have no idea, but I've heard really good things, and all my friends are like, why haven't you watched it? The second season's coming out. You have to watch the first one before you watch that one. I'm like, okay.
So, same hat. I also haven't seen it. Actually, I hadn't even heard of it until this. So I read about it. I watched trailers. I actually think I am going to check it out. It seems, one, like a really interesting premise, and two, it does seem like they really like to go with cultural relevance, like what is happening and tackling and kind of taking almost a political stance using this form of media. So I'm like, okay, that's really cool. I would like to check this out.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fresh concept because we're so used to seeing like superheroes kind of like in front of the cameras, but this is very much like what it would be like if they lived in the age of social media, you know, like hashtags trending, you know. And so it's basically like a 9 to 5. It's like you're working for this company, and you know, you have to make sure that you're top rated and all this stuff. So I think that's such a fun idea. It's so fresh. So I really enjoy the show.
So I'm obsessed with Blackest Night because it's basically the end of the world. Superheroes are not gonna help you kind of situation. And that's why like the boys just kind of like resonated, because I was like, yes, they're not the best thing and they're not gonna save you. I'm really excited for the second season because I heard that they were also introducing a couple characters from the comics.
Soldier Boy, right? For the third season, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about movies. Children of the Sea is having a home release, and I know that it came out last year. Have any of you guys seen the trailer for it?
I thought that the animation style was really interesting. It's really unique compared to what we normally see in anime. And whenever there's a series or movie that has a distinct style, I'm like, okay, that's really eye-catching. That does contribute to my enjoying it. And furthermore, I love the ocean aspect of it. I'm a huge marine biology nerd. I don't know, when they mentioned dugongs, I was kind of like, huh, what's going on here? So I'm really interested and excited to watch it.
The concept looks fun, and like the animation style too seems pretty intriguing. So I'm like, cool, yeah, we'll check it out for sure.
Oh my God, the trailer was so pretty. The artwork was beautiful. So I'm actually really excited about it. So I'm like, the art style is so pretty, and I'm really interested in the storyline, but it also kind of gives me like Nausicaa of the Valley vibes.
I'm actually really excited. I don't watch anime as much as I used to. I don't know why. Something about weaves and how they've evolved into something kind of like, meh.
It makes you want to like define yourself. I was like, I'm a person who enjoys anime.
You know, I appreciate people appreciating cultures.
Take it down a notch.
Yeah.
There is a documentary. It's Robin's Wish. I did say you guys should check out the trailer. I don't know. What do you guys think of the documentary? Because I do know that they're trying to really focus on how deteriorating diseases can really affect a person. Like it's a really tough topic to address for anybody at any time.
Like, I absolutely love Robin Williams, and when he died, I was actually finishing up an archaeological thing in Peru, so I was really sad. I went through like a month or two just watching old Robin Williams movies and just like really cherishing those moments, and at the same time kind of appreciating the work that he's done. But it also brought to light of like mental illness, that it's really serious problem that it's never talked about. It was a different kind of illness that just was never mentioned, and I'm not sure if he had the support that he, I guess, needed.
Robin Williams was such an important part of my childhood, and I feel like a lot of people could agree with that as well. You know, whether it was him voicing famous animated characters or films we loved, I think his death was the one that hit me the hardest, honestly, because I remember like just finding out about it, and just such a like wonderful, passionate person. And I think it's important to shine a light on mental illness. You can't just tell. It's not like, oh, you know, this person looks sad, so they must be depressed. A lot of the times it could be your strongest, most independent, funny friend, things like that. And so I think it's important to shine a light on mental health, and Robin Williams as well, and his work. And I love him.
And I'm just gonna preface this with, I'm probably gonna cry. So I actually watched the trailer for the first time this morning, and it caught me a little off guard. So I was actually diagnosed with bipolar earlier this year. Everyone focused on the fact that it affects your moods, but learning that it was degenerative and behavioral was really devastating for me. It was really challenging to know that it was literally changing the structures of my brain. And so when I saw this trailer and I saw them start to talk about the physiological aspects that are so often ignored and forgotten, or just people just don't know about, there's a part of me that is really relieved, because there is such a stigma. You get all sorts of different attitudes, like people who know, like, even though they don't mean to, they do treat me like I'm more fragile now, which stinks. But I think that talking about this with a celebrity brings it into the home and makes it so much more approachable to the average viewer. Someone who maybe looked up to this person and doesn't know anybody actively who's affected by bipolar in their life, and it helps humanize those with bipolar. So I will definitely be watching this, and I will definitely bring tissues.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I know it's a very recent thing that you discovered about yourself.
I really appreciate you guys listening into that, and also creating an environment that I felt comfortable sharing that.
We're going to start opening up discussion of when was it that you knew you were a geek? Or like, was there a person or a group of people that inspired you? Like, for example, I was raised on Nintendo comics and Elvira when I was a kid because of my dad. I super love like Renaissance Fair and museums because of my aunt. And now I'm stuck in the port key of all this like convention work.
For me, I've always watched like Sailor Moon and like Hello Kitty as like a kid, like itty bitty. But I wasn't aware until like middle school, I guess, that like Sailor Moon and all that stuff was more of like a geeky thing. And I think I really dived into it high school and a little bit of college, just going to cons and just doing fan art and stuff. That was really fun.
So mine started pretty early on because I grew up with my dad. So it was very much about watching animated Batman, like Ninja Turtles. So it was like the 90s, it was, prime time for that. So being exposed to that from an early age, opened doors for DC universe. I've always been more on the artistic creative side, singing, sketching, writing. So I've always been naturally gravitated towards the geekier, nerdier kind of side of life.
My brothers were the first exposure to anime, video games, sciences, marine biology, botany. I have a lot to attribute to them as far as how I became the little nerd that I am now. But it was driven by my rabid imagination as a child. I loved the worlds created by Tolkien in Miyazaki films. I feel like being a geek is kind of mainstream now, and I'm cool with that because that just means more people realize it's awesome.
Okay, so now we're going to close off with a quick game. This person likes scavenger hunts, Legos, archaeology/paleontology, spooky stuff, and theming. But they dislike seafood, math, spiders, pineapple on pizza, and hot weather.
I think it's Ren.
I'll say Ren as well.
I was going to say Sam.
Likely story.
Whitney!
Hey!
Next person likes fruits, Kirby, learning new things, adventure, and tea. They dislike rude people, inefficiency, brand cereal, scary movies, and not getting to choose where their tax money goes.
I'm gonna go with Ren.
I'm gonna go with Ren too.
That was you, Steph.
Well, we all know it's Ren because somebody said they liked Kirby. So I'm going to read both of them, and you
Okay.
got to figure out if A is Sammy or me. So A likes rodents, Keanu Reeves, K-pop, celery and peanut butter, Rick and Morty, but they dislike entitled people, garlic, Kanye West, snakes, and jump scares. Person letter B likes folklore, antique books, giving gifts, soft blankets, acts of creativity, but they dislike soggy bread, aggressive squirrels, disappointing people, being helpless, and running for cardio.
I figured it out. A is Stephanie, B is Sammy.
I was about to say A is Stephanie, B is Sammy.
I think that a certain hamster owner I know might be person A.
Well, that was a fun, fast game, but I want to give everybody the opportunity to do a shout out.
I would like to have my shout out go to Monterey Bay Aquarium. If you are able to, I would highly encourage you to go look into donating there because they do a lot of amazing work and help educate the public. They aren't able to have guests, which contributes largely to how they are able to keep up their conservation efforts and help take care of their animals.
Things like that, because of Corona and everything happening, a lot of small businesses are in fact suffering. So I don't just have like one specific shout out, but I just mean like in general, if a lot of mom and pop shops, family owned, family operated. And so just support your local, street vendors as well.
The only thing I can really shout out is stay safe, stay home, keep hydrated, wear a mask if you do have to go out, and diversify your feed. Learn something new every day.
There are a lot of creative people out there, and with quarantine, a lot of production companies are shut down. So I always say support your artists and definitely check out Quarantine Scenes. It's just a bunch of people that kind of get together, have fun, reenact some scenes from iconic films. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Whitney. Thank you, Ren. And I'm Stephanie, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.